Hey, this is Tim from Arcana. When we set up our MEVO environments, we generally try to tell all of our customers you should make your tunnel address space as large as possible. This is just because it's very hard to change it in the future. Now, depending on how your environment is set up, you might be able to get away with it, and this video will show you how. I will try to explain any caveats that may come up because, again, this really isn't something that I hope you have to do. I'm just going to run through our MEVO GUI here to show you my setup. This is just my lab MEVO with a single spoke deployed to it. And if I go to my configuration headends page, I'm going to show you an example where I have two DMVPN clouds set up first, an east and a west, and then I'll show you an example where I only have one DMVPN cloud set up, but that one cloud has two different hubs in it. So what I'll do is I'll go to my configuration subnet blocks page, and we will do this one at a time. So I will start with the east one and select it, go to more actions and change pool size. And let's change this from /24 to /23, and I need to give it my password. Now, you'll notice on this screen, in order to change that subnet block size, MEVO is going to do the calculation for us. So our subnet, which was previously a /24, in that 172.23.198 range, that's going to now go up to 172.23.199.254. So keep note of that. So let's click OK. This will save, and we can see our status has now changed. Now, if you look at Tunnel West, notice how our Tunnel West starts at 172.23.200. If I had originally configured MEVO where Tunnel West started at 172.23.199. So if I didn't leave that extra space, I wouldn't have been able to do this. So you see, this is one of those caveats that can come up. This solution might not work for you, and in that scenario, there might have to be something a lot more intrusive that has to be done. We might have to migrate your whole tunnel environment over to a larger address space. We want to avoid it. So if you're brand new to MEVO and you're just watching a bunch of videos to learn and set up your environment, you don't want to be watching this video. Just try to set up your MEVO with a large tunnel address space. But enough of that. Let's keep going. Okay, so what I'm going to do is let's head over into our router configuration. I have our spoke router here, which I will do a show DMVPN just to show you that the tunnels are up. And now let's head over to that east hub. And let me actually split the tabs here. That way we can view both at the same time. And what we'll do is I'm just going to manually put in the new subnet address. It'll be a little bit faster than me making a template for it and using MEVO to push. So I will put in that /23 address and hit enter. And you'll notice on the left-hand side, my spoke router's egrep is going to flap. The peer termination message is going to show up. Now, because I have two DMVPN clouds, this isn't a big issue because even though East isn't available, I can still have a connection to my MEVO server via the West cloud. And I'm going to do a ping here just to show you that that is still indeed reachable. Now, we can update the spoke router using a manual change, but I'm going to assume in your environment you probably have more than one spoke configured, so let's do this through MEVO. We'll go to Configuration Templates, and I'm going to open up my DMVPN template, and I'm going to copy out the syntax that I need. So we're just going to copy that, and now let's add a template. I'll just make a new DMVPN config, why not? We'll call it universal, give it a name, and we'll go ahead and paste in what we copied, and I'm just going to take out the stuff I don't need, so the description and the bandwidth. And the rest of this configuration here should just push that new subnet address to the spoke router. So I'll click add, and now let's go double check that the template looks how it should. And now let's go to configuration headends, and let's just double check that even though we updated the subnet blocks page, that our change is also reflected on our headends page as well. Okay, so now let's go to the devices page. We will search for our device, go to more actions, operations, apply template, select our template. Now, I'm going to select ours to run now, but remember that you can also set this to run on an up event. So if you have any offline spokes, they will automatically get this update once they come back online. So I'll click run now, and let's head over back to our GUI, and we can see MEVO configuring our device, and our eGroup adjacency is now back up. And if we check our tunnel interface config, we can see that the subnet address has indeed changed. Okay, so scenario number 2. We're going to log back in. I'll quickly show you off my lab environment is mostly the same, one spoke, but this time on our configuration headends page, we have a single cloud, but that cloud has 2 hubs configured under it. The process is going to be mostly the same. We'll go to configuration subnet blocks, change the pool size again from /24 to /23, and now we'll head back to our GUI. Now I'm going to do a couple things different this time in the GUI, just because this change is slightly more risky than the other one. Although if you're following this video, you'll be completely fine. So what we're going to do on our hub side is we're going to go to that primary hub, just one of them, and we will update that subnet mask. And what we'll see on the left again is that our egrip is going to drop. Now, even though that connection to our primary hub is no good right now because of the mismatched subnet, we're still able to ping the MEVO server, and we still have reachability because we're still able to connect through that secondary hub. And just to show you that this truly works, I'm going to do a shut, no shut on my tunnel interface, and we should see, and it might take a little bit of time, but we should see that the eGroup adjacencies to that secondary hub will remain stable for you. So as long as you don't touch both hubs at the same time, you're going to be fine. And we'll just verify this with another ping test. So now let's go back to our MEVO page, and we will use the same template that we used in the previous segment. And we're going to double check again on the configuration headends page that everything looks right. And we'll go back to our devices page, run that more actions, operations, apply template, and push that to our device. After a while, you should be able to check your tunnel interface and see that the subnet block has, or the subnet address has changed. And if we do our show DMVPN and our show IP route, we can see that those eGroup adjacencies have stayed. And once again, remember our secondary hub that we are connected to previously is still on the old mask. So if I do a shut, no shut, and you don't have to do this, but if I do a shut, no shut and wait for a little bit, we can see that our routes will eventually reestablish back with our primary hub. And now we can just go to our secondary hub and we can update the subnet block there. So if your environment is set up this way, you will have a little bit of downtime as you do this. Hopefully not that much, but this is a completely safe and valid way to update your subnet address, assuming, again, you don't have these little caveats that go along with how your environment has been set up. If you have any questions, let us know.